Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back. I am working on getting up our design for tonight. Here we go. All right, there we are. I'm coming over here. I'm going to make it big. If you're interested in learning how to make these, just let me know. That's a service I can offer. We're going to click present and make it big. And there we are. All right, so I am very late this evening. Let me introduce myself. I'm Tara Priolo. I am your resident Black, biracial, multi-passionate musician. I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same. And welcome to this evening's masterclass as part of Freedom Fridays, which is Colorful Voice. I have taught this masterclass in the past in a completely different way. I have sort of a newfound understanding or a newfound uncovering of this particular offering. And so, yeah, we're going to discover it together. There's going to be lots of questions. There's going to be lots of opportunity to think through this. And I will probably offer this live again at some point, just because I'm late. It's been a day. And so, I do want to go into it, but this will probably be a slightly abbreviated version. All right, so those of you that have been in my Freedom Friday masterclasses over the last few weeks, which hopefully I will get those replays up soon, we've done opening agreements. So if you can agree to these, then you can proceed with the masterclasses. Proceed with this particular masterclass. So the opening agreements today are rules or guidelines to be broken. Rules are guidelines to be broken. There's a lot of people out there that are going to give you templated, perfect, quote unquote, brands, ready-made brands, miniature brands, things that are just like, thrown together. They look good, like not thrown together in that way. Some are very thoughtful, but they're really, what do I want to say, like common, or like corporate designed, etc. Like if you go into the brand templates of Canva, or type in brand templates to Pinterest, you're going to see what I'm talking about. And so my suggestion is that rules are guidelines to be broken. The second agreement that we're going to make this evening is your colors are a mirror, not a mask. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Your colors are a mirror, not a mask. Your colors are a mirror toward yourself, not a mask to hide behind. If you can make those agreements, proceed in this masterclass. We're going to do some grounding work here. So if you are in a safe place and you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes and we're going to proceed with this. So the visualization is to stand in your most powerful place. So close your eyes, imagine your most powerful place. What colors are surrounding you? For me, it's like a kaleidoscope. Like there's like sparkles and also like really deep seated like it's like a kaleidoscope, but it's also like there's so much depth to it. Yeah, bold but deep. In this place that you are, in your powerful space, what's the emotional temperature? Okay, is it flaming, anger? Is it bold vibrancy? Is it cold sadness? Is it like, what is it? Right? What's the emotional temperature of your powerful space? I would invite you to pause this here on the replay and press play when you're ready. All right, so let's talk about color magic, right? This is what essentially we use to create brands. Now, modern so-called white marketers have turned color magic into something that essentially turns picking brand palettes into manipulating other people. And in fact, I used to teach it this way. I used to say, how does color make, or how do you want other people to feel? And that was the focus, right? How do you want other people to feel, and how can we get them to feel that way based on the colors of your choosing? It always felt wrong to me. I do not like it, but there is actually color magic that comes from African traditions. And so every color does have a meaning. It's very easy to look these up. You can see Sway's feelings and thinking on this list if you're watching on a visual platform. So it can, but most importantly, we can turn that inward. Our color magic, in terms of utilizing the colors that make us feel a certain way, us, right, ourselves a certain way, instead of what we want other people to feel. And I do believe at the end of this deck that is one of the questions I'm going to ask you, is like, how do you want others to feel? But we're going to really turn the focus, like I said, inward of the color magic. So for instance, I just did a program called Icon, and red is my power color, right? Red is a color that, like, when I wear it, I feel strong, I feel passionate, I feel powerful, I feel, I just feel awesome. Okay. And so I'm wearing red today, right? I'm wearing red today, and I feel, I feel all of those things that I just said. So that color is focused in on me. And it is interesting that, like, whoops, in my brand, I don't actually have red. I have orange, but not red. And I can explain that later. So it also color can change people's actions. So, like, for instance, one of the people that you've seen on previous masterclasses, Poppy Wada, wears pink a lot, and that color signifies self-love. And so that is turning it in on yourself and learning to love. This is a bit of a funny one. Color magic can cause a fish to bite, right? If you use the right color, fish are attracted to it, just like animals are attracted to certain colors, right? It can cause reactions. So think about, like, like we started, like, your powerful space, is it like coated in one color, like, let's say blue, right? Calming rooms, right? Think about the way that they use lighting in theater work, and how, like, how the lighting of a room or the lighting of the stage changes the emotions of the stage, right? I think that's like, ooh, 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 that gave me the chills, right? It can be soothing. Blue is often a color of soothing, right? Saving energy, right? Green, think about, like, the green energy movement. Or you can use color magic to tell a story. And I think that any color tells its own story. Of course, there is a history of black, there is a history of white, there is a history of purple. These are colors that have long, rich histories, or like colors that were used in, the medieval times, or in, the French Revolution and things like that. Have that, like, those colors became part of history. Okay, this is something that I didn't teach. That previous slide, something that I had taught before, just I'm teaching it a different way. This, I love this. Claiming color, right? So you heard me say, like, I'm wearing red today because red is my power color. It is my power color. And I love that. I also, like, I kind of was like second guessing myself. I was like, well, why isn't it in my brand? I, mm, I don't want it in my brand. I want it to be worn and I want to claim it as my power color, but I don't necessarily want to use it in my branding. I do use red often with Love and Action Network, but I don't want, yeah, I have like a, oh, I got to go to the meet tab. I got to stay in the call because I'm the only one here tonight, which is fine because I'm late. But what was I talking about? Oh, I want to wear it. I don't want to use it. So claiming color. Colors carry energy, symbolism, and emotional resonance, like we were just talking about, right? So, and you can use this even without like going on the internet and typing in like light color meaning, black color meaning, red color meaning. You can literally look at a color. Okay, look at my red, look at the white in my head wrap, look at the orange, look at the colors that are on the page, and list out what it makes you feel. What does lime green make you feel? What does deep blue make you feel? What does white make you feel? What does black make you feel? Right? That is the emotional resonance, energy, and symbolism to you, right? All colors have this. They influence how others experience you, which we were talking about, that we're actually flipping that on its head. So listen to the last part of the sentence and how you experience yourself, right? When I wear red, I feel sexy, I feel powerful, I feel hot, I feel like I can take on the world. I just like, if I, and I'm thinking now, like if I were to find a black owned red piece of clothing that I could wear for auditions, baby, no one could stop me. So claiming colors for your own, right? For yourself, claiming that color. Like again, red is my color. Like she is my color, you know? I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have questions on that. All right. So like I said at the top of this one, so we've had a couple like very action oriented master classes with the Lift the Joy, and then last week's what was last week's? Uh-oh. Do I remember what last week's was? I should. Last week's was talking about the ish. So, two action oriented master classes. This one's a little more reflective because I really want you to do the inner work of the brand before doing the visuals. You could do it the opposite way, but I think doing the inner work allows us to really come into alignment with the belief that we are perfectly imperfect, whole, and complete, as Dr. Flo says, and that we are truly like always learning more about ourselves as we allow ourselves to be more vulnerable internally. Okay, so what colors naturally appear in your home, wardrobe, and art? For me, if you come to my house, which I'm not inviting any of you over except for certain people that know who they are, um, I have tons of gray. You can see it behind me. Gray, cream, white, and blue. Now, the gray and blue or teal was actually in my original brand because I loved teal so much, but it was also my wedding colors. I love those colors. And then I've already been talking about red, right? I also wear a ton of like the bright coral pink. In art, I'm drawn to, very interestingly, in art, I'm really drawn to like stark black and white. I'm really drawn to like natural. So interesting, like, and I think you see this in the visuals of my branding now, that like I have an eclectic sense of color and what I'm motivated by in different settings. Like the gray and the teal feel very cozy, and the red feels very powerful, and the bright colors feel very poppy and exciting. And then in the art, like it's the depth of the black and the white, like the stark contrast. So that's one. Okay. Now, again, speaking from yourself, for yourself, what emotions do you want your work to carry? What emotions do you want your work to carry? For me, I want people to feel emboldened. I want people to feel free. I want people to feel liberated. I want people to feel viscerally wanting to take action. Like for themselves, not for anybody else, not for the looks of it, not for the numbers, not for the vanity metrics, which I've also talked about all those, but truly for themselves. I want joy. I want love. I want all of the things that I just said, upliftment. I want fight, right? I'm thinking claws, right? And I'm kind of doing this along with you all as you're watching this. So be sure that like even so if you're like, oh yeah, 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 or if you're feeling, ooh, I'm finding myself like moving from my true center to what Tara's saying. Mm-mm. Turn this off, hit pause, come back later, find your center. Find your center. Go back to that grounding. What is your power space and what is in your power space? Here's another question. What colors do you avoid and why? What colors do you avoid and why? For years in my brand, my first, not my first brand, but my last brand, I avoided writing in black because I felt like it was too harsh and too bold and too forward. That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. Right? Look at me now. I'm using black lettering and I'm using white lettering, in fact, in the other part of my brand. So, what colors do you avoid and why? And then ask yourself, is that about personal taste or the fear of being seen? For me, it was the fear of being seen, right? I wanted to use the lighter colors for a softer glow to be more palatable. I'm not palatable. I'm powerful. I'm not palatable. I'm powerful in my red. I'm not palatable. I'm powerful. So why was I trying to soften the blow of me? Why was I leading with apology? Why was I leading with my fear? Right? So really sit with that. What colors do you avoid and why? And is it about personal taste or fear of being seen? Okay, identity and energy. Y'all, tonight's deck is shorter because it's got a lot of journal prompts. I'll put these into something and give y'all a PDF. Identity and energy. What colors feel like your voice when it's strongest? I've had people tell me my voice is like purple. Um, for me, someone called me stoic in a room on Clubhouse the other day. And so for me, like purple, yes. That corally pink that I was talking about earlier, or this pink that's up in this corner here, love that. The lime green, the poppy, but truly at like the root of it is like a combo of this blue and this blue, right? Like it's like, and it's like bright deep. I've been talking about that all day. Can you tell those are brand words for me? Bright deep blue, right? Bright deep blue. And that's also like really fun to say. Bright deep blue. Say it with me 3 times. Bright deep blue. Okay, which colors make you feel grounded? For me, that's greens, that's blues. It's frankly red. Like I said, this is my power color. This is my girl. This is my baby. This is my girl. Okay. So what colors make you feel grounded? For some people, that's like earthy tones. For other people, like I said, like mine is blue. For some people, it's like the bright poppy, eccentric neon colors. Oh, speaking of neon colors, which make you feel electric? Red, this pink again, this orange, my yellow. Those are electric colors for me. Those are things that immediately pull my focus. What are they for you? Answer in the comments wherever you're watching. Okay. In the old colorful voice, I taught building a mood board and then pulling out of that mood board the colors, right? And so that is true. I still want you to do that. But we're going to ask a few more deepening questions into ourselves. So mood and vision boards. So I think like for me, mood boards are super easy. But for a lot of people, I feel like we get a little lost because we get so torn between um what our mood is, and then like what we want to present to the world, or like how other people are going to perceive that. And I don't want us to go towards that, other world. So the mood and vision, like you could use a vision board instead, because that I think gets to the center. So if you've created a vision board, see what colors, this is the first question, what colors pop out or reappear consistently when you create this? So when you're all done, are there greens? Are there blues? Are there pinks? Are there yellows? For me, when I create a mood board, and I can maybe actually show you on my mood board from this brand. Let me see if I can find it right quick. If I can't find it, then let's see. I think I know what it's called. I didn't prepare this part, y'all. Here we go. Okay, so this was my mood board for this brand, and it's a couple pages long. Okay. So look what you see. You see the yellow, right? You see the purples, you see these blues and the pink meshed together. That's really important for y'all to see. We see a hint of green. We see the purple. I already said that. Again, we see this pink, red, blue together. African fabrics, the lime green. You see how this is popping out? And so what I did was I pulled these colors from these mood boards onto other graphics, right? You can see how many tests I went through. Now, I'm going to tell you something later about this as well. But anyway, see how the repeated color, like the colors start repeating themselves. So notice that in either your mood board or your vision board. Okay, so does the number of colors that pop out feel overwhelming? Now, in a previous iteration of this masterclass, I said you need to narrow it down to 6 to 8 colors. I no longer believe that. In fact, my brand right now has, I think, 7 colors, but it could have more eventually as I find colors that really speak to me when I'm creating. So the question is not, let me narrow it down, or like the directive is not, let me narrow it down because that's what all the template brands say. It is truly, if it feels overwhelming to you that there's a lot of colors, like, again, I could go back to this mood board now and I could pull out so many more colors and like use all of them on this page, right? There were like a couple. This is actually from my old brand. This color here is my old brand color. It's Dignity. But like the rest of these colors, I could pull out so many more. The orange, like another shade of orange, the layers of purple in this thing, this golden yellow orangey color. Like there's so many other colors that I would love to play with, and looking at that really excites me. So if it doesn't feel overwhelming, there's no reason to necessarily narrow. If it does feel overwhelming, you may need to narrow it down. Now, I'm not giving you a number to narrow it down to. I'm just saying narrow it down until it doesn't feel overwhelming. The last question, the colors that arise, right? Now, I keep going back to this mood board, right? Do the colors that arise feel like me? This color does, this color does, this color does, except I think it ended up being brighter orange. I would really love to bring that in. This color does, and y'all that are like, y'all got to watch this on the visual platform. Like there are so many, this color does, like that color, oof, yummy. Okay. And you could see me going through my old branding process of trying to make it into like 5 colors. But why? When I can utilize all of them in very special ways that feel aligned with me. So do the colors feel like you? Do they feel like that inner person? I keep like, I'm powerful in red, right? Like, does it feel like you? Does it feel like you? And only you can really truly answer that. I'm happy to help you privately walk through these steps or in a group setting, but like, oh, using your colors. Okay. So now this is where this comes to. Right. Like you have to start using your colors to make sure that these are the colors that you want to use. So there's a couple different ways to do this. You can craft some graphics using templates if you need them. and then ask yourself how it feels. Now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this again. One of the things that was really important for me was that my text was going to be able to be seen in the script font. And then also that my like bright red shirt, again, my power color and my headshots was going to look good on all of these. So you can see me playing with my 6 colors, right? And like a couple different pictures that I love, right? Here's like experimenting with, this is actually an element from an old brand. I don't so much use that anymore. I use like African inspired geometric patterns. And then this actually, I think was a profile picture for a second, but like, I think you all can see how I'm testing out these graphics. Now, once again, like I could go back in here and craft other things. I'm going to show you all my Canva really quick. Let's see. So I'll just show you Q3. This is Q3 right now. Look at how I made these backgrounds. Oh, you're not seeing it. Look at how I made these backgrounds. Okay, I was happy with that. Then I got to here. I was like, oh, I'm feeling constrained by these. So hello, made a different one. Look at that. Oh, bringing in an element that was like I really wanted to use in my old brand but never did. And then the graphic for this. Right? So just playing around. And you can see, I was talking about those geometric patterns. You see that I'm using these geometric patterns now, which go very well with my logo made by Poppy Wada 33 at House of Mommy Wada. And then again, we see these geometric graphics, etc. So you can play around. I'll show you in here. If you're a Canva user, even if you're not, let me get this reset. You can just go to design. And templates is actually the first thing that comes up. So I don't ever use templates, but if you need templates, like you can type in, let's see. I'm just going to type in simple and see what it gives us. So you can do this and then change to your colors. Now I have my colors like saved, but also default solid colors, default gradient. I don't even think I knew that the gradients were down here. That's fun. Okay, so you can experiment with your colors as you go, and you can see my old brand here too, right? There's that teal I was talking about. There's the purple that stayed in the brand. All right, y'all. Hopefully that makes sense. If you need a deep dive in Canva or a way to create graphics, please don't hesitate to reach out. All right, back to this. How does it feel when you're crafting those? For me, like I have been so excited to go in and create content for this, for Colorful Voice this week. Like I've been so excited to just use all of those colors. And so I know that I'm in a more authentic brand for myself now. All right, your color palette will likely always be changing, perhaps in shade or completely different. So like I shared with you, like this blue is new. This pink is new. I foresee that I will probably be adding a couple more shades, like I showed you that vibrant purple. And maybe red. I don't like, I'm really kind of called at this moment to like a deep maroon red. And I think even in my mood board, like there's a color that I was sort of messing with. Yeah, there is. So this color right here is like a deep reddy brown. And I almost like wanna, I almost want to like make it more red or something. I don't know, y'all. But oh, that might be it. Like I can just see myself using that, right? I'm inspiring myself in this masterclass. Okay. So just keep in mind that you could do, different seasons, different, you could have a different brand palette or mini brand palette for every offer that you create. You could have a different brand palette for every show. I mean, like this is really common at opera companies. Like there are so many different options. So don't limit yourself. Be free, be liberated in your colorful voice. And with that, continue to be anti-racist, be safe, wear a mask, make good trouble, do good work. I love y'all hardcore. Joy, yes, joy is our revolution. Step into it, belong to it, and walk in it today. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.